So could you, sound off on the advancements you made and allowed to make in women's sports and what we need to do next and where you think it's going to go? Because at the end of the day, sometimes you talk about certain moments, and I don't want to equate it to like race battles, but I'm like, I don't want to have moments where I'm ignorant. Right. And it's coming down to, bringing that same energy that's punching down on a whole, on a whole, genre of people. So I want to know what's next, what we need to do in order to continue support in certain things we don't understand. Whether it's like, hey, we need to give more. We need to make sure as to why, because we're from a demographic where we need more opportunities, we need more outlets. So I just sound off on that if you could.
Yeah, I think for me, we're in women's sports traditionally, but certainly where we are right now is like, we just don't need the comparison between men's sports and women's sports. Men's sports is amazing. I love sports, watch all of the things. And there's things that happen in the men's game that don't happen in the women's game and vice versa. And I think it's just really important to always have the, I guess, stance or sort of in your mind of like, I'm going to appreciate this game for what it is and just support it for what it is. And, I think that happens a lot in women's basketball because it's like, well, they can't dunk. And it's like, okay, so lowering the rims is going to help. It's just going to be a weirder, lower dunk. Like,
right.
I got a 5'6" friend that dunks on lower rims, and it brightens his heart. He thinks he's a real boy after that.
It's not like all of a sudden, though, like, I don't know, Jewel Lloyd is going to become, John Morant.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's just, so just appreciate the games for what they are. And then I think really this phase, this next 5 years, but really 10 is going to be a massive investment period for women's sports. And that's really what we've always been missing. It always gets compared to men's sports without the caveat that men's sports has gotten billions of dollars and hundreds of billions of dollars of public funding as well, whether it's stadiums or practice facilities. But we always get judged by our comparison to men's sports, but we have none of the billions of dollars of investment. That is starting to come now. Investing in the leagues. You're an investor in Bay FC, which is amazing. Like,
once you get married, you're part owner of Gotham FC.
Yeah,
I love how you did that.
I know. We might have to hold off on the marriage because we could own two teams, But like the investment, I think, is really coming, and that comes in the form of like having really smart people work in the front office, having really good GMs, like having really good ticketing, branding, marketing, like people to sell the business around the team. That comes in, of course, like stadiums and, the sort of player experience in practice facilities and all that. But I think like the sort of like media, business, brands, like landscape in women's sports is changing dramatically. And I think you're going to see the sports like just grow huge. You're already really seeing it in the first, these last couple of years. But I think the huge investment that's coming, I'm like, get in now and you're going to be a genius, just like Andre. Get in now or get in later and pay twice, Like that's you're going to make money. If you really think about it, it's kind of an obvious question. Like, do you think women's sports in the next 5 years is getting smaller? Right? So it's just like, I think that, brands and people with that level of capital are really understanding this is an amazing product. And also what's special about women's sports, when you talk about women's sports, we're going to talk about, maternal health, and we're going to talk about childcare, and we're going to talk about racism, we're going to talk about homophobia. Like, it's a place where societal progress can really have a voice and live because all the intersections happen in our sport. So we're growing commercially, and that's really important, and we need to have it be as big as possible, but we're also doing it in a way that hopefully can continue to change the world and make things a better place for all of us.